Okay, hello, my high schoolers. This is Mr. C of Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. Welcome to your music lesson. So it is now time for you guys, and it is time for the Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy jingle. If you know it, sing along. Here we go. Time for school, time for music, time to learn together. We can do it. Learning is fun with Mr. C. And learning is fun, everybody. Welcome again, high schoolers, 9th grade through 12th grade. It is time for your music lesson. So today is going to be, the core of our lesson is going to be all about chords, harmony, okay? And I'm going to explain a lot more about harmony. Now, mind you, some of you guys in high school might already have an understanding of harmony, might have know what chords are, okay? But there might be some viewers right now who are just looking at this for the very first time. So once again, that I'm kind of taking it from kind of the beginning stages and relating it to in terms of composition, okay? Remember, this is about composition, music theory, okay, that type of thing. So we are going to learn on the basis of that, okay? But in any event, there's also time for the personal shout out, okay? So today's personal shout out, everybody, belongs to, let's have a drum roll, please. And today's personal shout out is for Mr. Jonathan Hellbrown. Jonathan Hellbrown, this personal shout out is for you. Hope you enjoy it. Here we go. Let's say hi to Jonathan Hellbrown. Let's do some music with Jonathan Hellbrown. Let's get together with Jonathan Hellbrown. Let's go have some fun. And that was once again for Mr. Jonathan Hellbrown, everybody. Let's hear it for Jonathan Hellbrown. Give him a round of applause. All right, congratulations. So once again, that little personal shout out jingle, that's for anybody who would love to have their first and last name in a personal shout out jingle at the beginning of a lesson. The comment section is open, so just drop your name first and last, okay? But also look in the details below, especially if moms and dads are watching. Look in the details below regarding Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. There are lots of stuff that one can get there in the details. It's in the details below. Find out about private lessons, about membership into patreon.com/Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. Find out about how you can get study sheets and worksheets and things like that. I think I mentioned private lessons once again via FaceTime. There's lots of things going on with Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy that you guys will be able to take advantage of. So, take a look at the details below once again regarding those services. But let's get right into it now. Also, before we get into the core of a lesson, which we didn't mention before, I like to do some stretches first and then go right into the hymnals, okay? This is the portion of the lesson where I always do a hymnal, praising God and thanking him for everything that he is able to give us, that we're able to do just for our very life. And so the hymnal, and of course, this might be new to anybody who's watching for the very first time, okay, this is what we do on a regular basis. So the name of the hymnal is called Wade in the Water. Now, if you've never heard of Wade in the Water, you can easily go onto your tablet, your phone, go onto Google and just type in Wade in the Water. That's W-A-D-E. In case you're saying wait, no, I'm not saying wait, but Wade in the Water. And it's a spiritual, and you should type also in that search engine lyrics next to that title, Wade in the Water lyrics. And those lyrics should pop up right away, okay? And this way you can follow along while we sing it together, okay? So, and I'll explain more about that song in a little bit. But first things first, let's get into a nice, good posture, everybody. So everybody sit up nice and straight. And we're gonna do a couple of stretches that'll help us vocally warm up. So everybody raise your arms up into the sky as high as you can. Let's raise them. Feel that nice stretch. Great. And now everybody let it drop and everybody start rolling the shoulders. Please rotate the shoulders back and feel that nice massage, that tingly feeling right in the shoulder blades. Yes, that feels real good. Okay, everybody rotate them forward. Roll those shoulders forward. All right, now everybody rotate your necks very slowly, just rotate them in a circular motion. There we go, nice and easy. And everybody go in the other direction. All right. And now everybody look all the way up, look all the way down, look all the way to your right, and look all the way to your left. And everybody tilt your head to the right, tilt your head to the left, and everybody shrug and hold, and drop. Once again, shrug and hold, and drop them. Okay. Now the reason, by the way, we do such neck rotations and shoulder rotations and things like that, because those particular joints are connected to the vocal cords in a very significant way. It actually helps the vocal cords. So that's why we particularly, besides the upstretch right there, that is also, it's just good for the body. So in other words, the vocal cords are part of your body, so everything that you do with your body affects your vocals as well. So these stretches, especially in the shoulders again and in the neck, okay, those type of stretches are always beneficial to just singing at your best. Okay, so great, everybody take a deep breath in through your nose and deep breath out, and once more, deep breath in and deep breath out. All right, and we're good to go, everybody. So let's get right down to it. So hopefully you've gotten those lyrics handy. Again, wade in the water. That's what we're going to be doing, and I'm going to be using my guitar for this one. And when it comes to wade in the water, now to wade in the water, okay, it has something to do with going in the shallow end, especially people who like to fish, do net fishing and that type of thing. They'll use sort of a walking stick, a long stick, to kind of poke around underneath a shallow end of a pond or a lake or anything like that. And basically wading is to find that firm spot so that you can stay stable, because it could be unstable wherever you might be stepping if you do that type of fishing. So when whoever came up with this spiritual, okay, and I say whoever because this is like a folk song. This is a song that's been passed down from generation to generation, and so there's no particular author or composer or songwriter to this. But when you're wading in the water, and I guess this is a way of God telling us, if you look at the lyrics, it says, wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's going to trouble the water. Okay. So besides the things that are going on around us, okay, which will happen, as God says in the Bible, but the water is the Bible. Okay. And so when we wade in the water, we find that firm step, that firm foundation within the water, which is the Bible, everybody, which is the Word of God. So when we do that, then we can stand firm in His Word, and God will take care of everything. Okay, so this spiritual, this is a very good reminder of that, and that's what it's about. So let's focus on the lyrics, everybody. Have those lyrics ready. We're about to sing it right now, and just follow along as best as you can. Even if you've never seen this song or heard this song before, just follow along as best as you can. And here we go. Once again, this is Wade in the Water. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. See that host all dressed in white. God's gonna trouble the water. The leader looks like the Israelites. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. See that man all dressed in red. God's gonna trouble the water. Looks like the man that Moses led. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Look over yonder, what do you see? God's gonna trouble the water. The Holy Ghost coming on me. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. If you don't believe I can redeem, God's gonna trouble the water. Just follow me down the Jordan Street. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. God's gonna trouble the water. God's gonna trouble the water. And that was Wade in the Water, everybody. Give yourselves a nice round of applause. If you were able to follow along with that, great job, everybody. Now, if you weren't, okay, if that was just if it got away from you a little bit, that's okay, everybody. That's all right. You know what I always say? Go right back into the video, press play again, have those lyrics handy while you're doing it, and just practice and repetition. That's the key. That is the key to all success in music. Practice, practice, practice. Okay. All right. So now, everybody, it is time. If I didn't mention this before, anybody who ever watches this with me, especially in the high school level, since we're going into composition, music theory, I need you guys to get out your manuscript books. Okay, manuscript paper. Okay, sheet music. By the way, anybody who becomes a member of patreon.com/Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy, I have sheet music, printable, not sheet music, I should say printable manuscript paper available through the membership. So if you want to do that, find out more in the details below in this video about getting your own printed manuscript paper from Mr. C, again, patreon.com/Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. So there we go. But have that ready. And if you don't have that today, of course, you can right now, you can definitely use regular notebook paper. Okay. Draw some staff lines. Okay. If you can manage it, and let's get to work. So I'm going to stand up. I'm going to adjust the camera, everybody, and have your pencil. By the way, also have a good pencil. A good pencil handy. All right. Oh, no, I've overdone that. There we go. Okay, adjustments. But have a good pencil with an eraser handy, and let's get going. Here we go. So everybody, eyes on my whiteboard here. And also, again, take good notes, guys. Take it, write down everything. That's the way you are going to be able to get everything. And then, the great thing is if you miss something here or there, you can always just, again, go back to the video, okay? But we're going to learn about chords today, okay? Thinking about in terms of harmony, okay? Let me just write it at the top. Harmony. It's in the title, but I got to reiterate things, okay? Chords, okay? Now, the definition of a chord, okay? It consists of 3 or more notes that are played together or separately, okay? And I'll give you an example of both, okay? First of all, there is a musical term to when they talk about playing the notes together, okay? So when we talk about playing the notes together, that term, and I'm going to write it down here, is called unison, okay? So unison, once again, it's when the notes are being played together, simultaneously. I'll write that, simultaneously. Okay. Now, what does that mean exactly? What does that even sound like, right? Watch this. You can't see it, but I'm at my piano right now. I'm going to play a chord, okay, in unison, where the notes are done in unison. Okay, if you hear that, okay. So it's like right now I just played 3 chords. I actually played a C major chord, okay, very simply a C major chord. And we're going to actually derive every chord that we do, the chords that we do look at is going to be in treble clef right for now, okay? And then I'll also show you in bass clef as well. But that was a C major chord above middle C, okay? Those are 3 notes. They consist of 3 notes, okay? And I will show you via a whole note, since we're in the 4-beat meter, 4 beats per measure, and the quarter note gets 1 beat. Here's a C chord, okay? Here's my middle C. Here is my E, and then here's my G, okay? And so I've used whole notes, as you can see, just regular circles as the note heads, okay? And if you recall, here's, again, middle C with the ledger line below the staff, okay? If you're not sure of what I'm looking at, anybody who's new, by the way, go into the playlist on my channel, okay? There's a library full of other videos that I've had, okay, especially on the high school level, where we talked about the letter names of each note, okay, and where they located, just basically how to read in treble and bass clef. This happens to be, again, treble clef. I write it down anyway, you know, just for our awareness here. Okay, so this is the treble clef, and we're talking about notes above, you know, from middle C and up in the higher range, okay? And I just built a chord right now, okay, that consists of C, E, and G, okay, being played in unison, which is, again, simultaneously. This happens to, these whole notes, as they're stacked up on top of each other. If you notice, they're stacked up on top of each other, okay, and this is what it would look like on a piece of music. So make sure you write this down, by the way, okay? The lines are going right through the note heads, okay? And when I play those on the piano, that's, again, if they were to sound separately, it would be C, E, G, right? And then you play them again in unison. That would be known as your C major chord, okay? And this is, again, how you would write it, okay? Just empty circles as note heads where the lines run through them. One being the ledger line below the staff, and then the bottom line, which is our E, and our second line, which is our G, okay? So that, again, those notes are played in unison at the same time, as if they were one complete note, okay? Again, if you write them separately in separate parts of the measure, okay, it wouldn't make sense, I should say, because to the musician, they have to see them stacked up in a line, okay, just stacked up on top of each other, so that indicates right there that they are going to be played in unison, okay? So again, these are whole notes, and you hold and count them at the piano. 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4, and off, okay? And that is what it would sound like. But this is how you would write it, so that musicians that are trying to learn to play this would be aware of how to do that, okay? Now, that is unison, again, simultaneously, together, and at the same time. The definition of the chords now being played separately, where the notes are being played separately. Again, 3 or more notes played together or separately. Now, how do we do that, okay? That is another term in music that is known as arpeggiation. So write this down, arpeggiation, A-R-P-E-G-I-A-T-I-O-N, okay? Okay, so arpeggiation. So arpeggiation is that we now play them separately and in a particular rhythm, by the way, okay? So this is, again, separate. I'll just put the word separate. Yikes. My own writing. Separately. Okay, I'll just write that. Okay, now how will we do that? And when it comes to now the C major, we're doing the C major chord. Okay, we're going to use that as an example. C, E, G, using those same exact notes. Now, in a 4-beat meter, maybe we want to play it one note and 1 beat at a time. Okay, so we go over here, and I'll do 4 quarter notes, right? Because again, the quarter note is worth 1 beat. So here's my middle C right now. I'm gonna draw the stem. Okay, again, that's a shaded in note head There's my C, middle C to be as a matter of fact. Then here's our E, the bottom line right there. Okay, drawing the stem so you know that it's a quarter note. G, and then G on the second line. Okay, so see how that's working out so far. But now I need to complete it. I'll write in the I'll write in the middle C again, just so that we're completing the measure as according to the meter, which tells us that there must be 4 beats per measure. That's what the top number indicates to us. We have to have 4 beats per measure. So we have our C, E, G, and C again. Okay. And so now it's not the most attractive middle C. I apologize for that. But in any event, okay. Now the notes are separate. They're arpeggiated. Let's put it that way. They're arpeggiated. C, E, G, and then C. 4 beats per measure, and the quarter note gets one beat each. Okay. So instead of playing them simultaneously and holding them out for 4 counts, like you saw in the first measure, 1 hold, 2 hold, 3 hold, 4. Now you have your arpeggiated. Okay. C, E, G, C. So you would play them separately. C, E, G, C, and it goes right back down to the note that it started, okay? But this is part of the C, again, part of the C major chord, okay? Part of the C major chord is that you just now took those notes that make the chord a C major chord, and you separated them and played it in a particular rhythm. So if we were to play, actually starting from the first measure, going into the second measure, remember measures are created through bar lines. That's these straight mean lines over here. And they create these boxes in which you can hold the notes in, okay? If we were to play it from the beginning measure into the second measure, it would sound like this, starting with the chord. Here we go. And I'm gonna get on my knees over here so that you can kind of see. Yeah, I'm gonna crouch down here so you can see what I'm looking at. So starting in the first measure, the whole notes for the chord, you got 1, hold, 2, hold, 3, hold, 4, then C, E, G, C, and off, okay? So that's how it would be played, okay? This is what it looks like when you write it, okay? All right, so I've given you 2 different examples. I'm just checking the time, guys. But I've given you 2 different examples on how you can build chords, either to write them to be played in unison or to write them to be played arpeggiated. Okay, once again, those 2 words. Unison means simultaneous, being played at the same time or even sung at the same time. You know that you can have more than one singer. Okay, this is why choruses were created, so you can have a singer play that C, another singer play that E, and then another singer play that G, and then they sing those in unison. Okay, it creates that wonderful chord. Okay, except through use of voice. Okay? And then you have this separate, the arpeggiated C, E, G, C. Okay, so that's the 2 differences between unison and arpeggiation. Okay, and this again, I used the C major chord. Okay, but now I'm going to erase this. I'm gonna show you. Actually, I'm going to show you the same chord, okay? Now I'm going to show you basically the same chord, but slightly modified. Okay, so we worked with C majors just now, which again consists of C, E, G, okay? Well, if there's a major, let's put it this way, if there's such thing as a major, there's also such thing as a minor, okay? So here we go, C minor, all right? Or if I were to abbreviate it in a way, because sometimes it's abbreviated, we go C. Sometimes they use a lowercase m, just a lowercase m, C lowercase m, or they'll abbreviate the MIM just like that. Okay, but either way, this is known as a C minor chord. But this time, here's the difference. We take the middle note. Okay, actually, let's even get to more specifically what the chord is about itself, okay? Just kind of breaking it down. So the bottom note of a chord, okay, is also known as the root. Everybody write this down. This is the root note, okay? This is the root note. It's the note in which it was named after, okay? That's why we call it the C minor chord, or C major for that matter, because it is it's the foundational, the very, again, root of the chord, all right, if you will. But now, then you have the middle note, okay, which I like to refer, kind of like in the chord sandwich, I like to refer to it as the meat of the chord, okay, so to speak. See, without the middle note specifically, there's no way you can be really specific on what kind of chord it is. So in this case, we're turning this from a C major into a minor, okay, into a C minor chord, which means I'm going to include the flat sign. Everybody write that little B, okay, that you've probably seen in musical decoration or something like that. But I'm including this flat sign, which means it turns this E into an E flat. And you can write that little flat sign next to the uppercase E there. And then we're going to leave the G the way it is, okay? So this E flat, by the way, is known as the third, okay? You can write that there. That labels the middle note as the third. And then the top note is the fifth, okay? So you have the root, okay, the third, and the fifth, all right? And let's go into the arpeggiated measure as well. So you have the root again, the middle C is the root of the arpeggiated chord here, and then you have the third, okay, the third, which again, this is an E flat, so we're gonna turn it into an E flat, and this is the G is the fifth, okay, the fifth, and then it goes back to the root. In this case, it's going to go right back to the root, okay? But C, E flat, G, and root, okay? So those are the parts of the chord, whether it's major, minor, diminished. I'm going to show you about that. I'm going to explain about diminished, augmented, okay? But this is how we label, this is how we identify these particular chords, okay? Now, what did I do here in the meat of our root of our chord sandwich, so to speak, right? It's like this is the bread, but the third is the meat of the sandwich, okay, if you will. But what did we do? We altered it. We turned it into an E flat. Now, if you recall in a previous lesson, anybody who's seen previous lessons before, when I turned the E natural, which was the regular E, into an E flat, what did I do? All I did was lower it by a half a step, okay? So let's say, and you know, this is our E. This is what it sounds like. This is what a regular E sounds like. If I lower the half a step and turn it into an E flat, it sounds like this, just like that. So you have your regular E and E flat, okay? And so that's how you would write to be specific. You're right, you're composing your song, okay? And you specifically want a C minor chord. You want to make sure that you include that there's a flat for the E, okay? And turning it into an E flat, okay? So we have C, E flat, and G. It does like a different sound. Now if we play them, what is the word again for playing them simultaneously? It's called unison. Make sure you say that, unison. Remember, they're all played together at the same time. So here's again C, E flat, G, and you hear them at the same time. It brings a different dynamic, a different quality to that chord. Before we had C, if it was C major chord, it would be C, regular E, and G, and you play them at the same time in unison, okay? But C minor sounds like this, okay? So that is the difference. Of course, if you were playing it, you know, according to a song, again, a 4-beat meter, right? 4 beats per measure, quarter note gets 1 beat. These are whole notes. If you were playing in rhythm, you would have to play those notes at the same time and hold them out for 4 counts. So here's my C minor chord. Hold 2, hold 3, hold 4, and off, okay? Notice I didn't say 1 right there. That's because the very first strike of the chord is your beat 1. So it's 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4, and off, okay? Now, What does it sound like arpeggiated? Well, you kind of have, arpeggiation. Remember separately. Kind of having an idea, because I did play them separately before, but not according to this rhythm. Remember, these were quarter notes. So you got root on the C. You got C, E flat, G, C. Back to C right there. So I could count us in, and here's what it would sound like on that second measure. Ready? 1, 2, and ready, here I go, and C, E flat, G, C, off, okay? So if we were to play from the first measure into the second measure, okay? Make sure you have this down, guys. Make sure we are writing everything, right? So if we were to play this from the first measure into the second measure, this is what it would sound like. I'm going to crouch down. I'm going to get on my knees again so that you guys can see what we're doing. And take a look. Start looking on the first measure, and I'm going to count us in. And here's what it would sound like. 1, 2, and ready. Here I go. And hold 2, hold 3, hold 4. Now arpeggiated. And off. Okay? That's basically, all I did was play exactly what we wrote there when it comes to our C minor chord, okay? So we learned today 2 things. There's C major. I'm going to write it in this empty measure over here that I created. So here today we learned 2 chords. So here's our C major. I'm going to use whole notes for this, okay? C, E, G, okay? Which is again our root, our third and our fifth, okay? For the root and third and fifth, and then we also learned our C minor, which is still these same notes, except for the fact that we added a flat to our E. So we have C, E flat, and G, okay? So we have C major and C minor. Notice with the C minor, I use lowercase letters. For the C major, I use the first M there is an uppercase, okay? So that it gives it even more of an understanding that, there is a difference between these 2 particular chords, okay? Again, C major is consistent of the root, third, and fifth, which is C natural, E natural, G natural, okay? But the C minor is C natural, E flat, G natural, okay? C major and C minor, okay? We will take a look definitely next time that we have class. We are definitely going to take a look at other chords, not just C. We're going to look at other chords and use different examples, sort of like the ones that I've already mentioned, like diminished chords, as well as augmented. We'll be learning to do that. And we're going to use them in bass clef to see what it looks like on bass clef, okay? Make sure, once again, if you didn't get all this down, of course, replay the video and write all this down into your notes, okay? Make sure you have that, and then try them out. Find them on your simulated piano app, okay? You could use that, or find it on the piano itself, okay? And then try plunking through them, okay? But the idea is, this is how it would look if you were writing a C minor and a C major, okay? Once again, remember, unison, played simultaneously, okay? And all notes played simultaneously, and arpeggiated or arpeggiation is when they're played separately, okay? All right, guys, did you get it all? Okay, hopefully you learned something, guys, today, and that is it for today. That was our lesson. We will again go over those different items when we come back next Friday. All right. I want to give some just regular shout outs, guys. Thank you, first of all, we've had some new members, new people who have joined Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy through patreon.com. So I want to give them a round of applause, first of all. A shout out, nice shout out to them. Thank you so much. Okay, and I'm looking forward to expanding on the memberships. Okay, people have been signing up and becoming members of Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy through the patreon.com website. And also to all my viewers, everybody who's been subscribing, thank you so much for your support on that. And of course, all my viewers from different parts of the world, places like Sri Lanka and the UK and Australia and India and the Philippines and China and Japan and South America, and of course the United States. Thank you very much, all of you guys who have been supporting me and in this. If you have not subscribed yet, make sure you click subscribe in the button below right now and click the notifications bell as well, so that you can be abreast of all the different classes that are coming up. And what else can I say? Oh yes, and watch all these videos. Okay, you need a review, a reminder, rehearse certain concepts again. You forgot one little item when it comes to a particular skill. Go back into my playlist for all those different grade levels. Okay, basically the way I teach is I teach in different grade levels, but all of those things, everybody, no matter what level level musician you are, those are all things that everybody can use in terms of music. So go right back into it and practice, view them again, like and share. Okay, I definitely would appreciate that, and I appreciate everything that you guys do in support of Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy. So thank you once again, everybody, my members. Thank you very much, my viewers, my subscribers, all of you guys. I can't wait to start this again next week. Okay, and that's all I have to say, everybody. I will see you guys next time. And as always, I wish you happy practicing. Everybody take care. Have a good one.